Right now on Morning News Now, it's snow joke. This morning, millions of people waking up to some serious winter weather in the Northeast with a major storm system set to dump several inches of snow in just a matter of hours. We have a team tracking the conditions, the warnings, and we'll tell you how it could impact your day. Also this morning, disturbing new details about what may have led to a shooting at Joel Osteen's Texas megachurch.
We don't understand why all these things happen, but we know God's in control.
What investigators say they found belonging to the suspect, plus what we're learning about her criminal and mental health history. And rideshare drivers slamming the brakes on your Valentine's Day plans. The pay dispute that has them trading the roadways for the picket lines tomorrow. Plus, it's a day some singles love to hate. We'll explain the phenomenon known as the Valentine's Day blues and how to fight it if you aren't feeling the love. And I guess that's a little PSA. That's tomorrow, huh?
Exactly. And you're going to have a snowy Valentine's Day in some parts of the country. Not Christmas,
right,
but Valentine's Day. Good to have you with us on this Tuesday. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. And that's where we start this morning with that nor'easter. It's this morning almost 50 million people from Philadelphia to Boston could be walloped by this massive snowstorm. Could be the biggest to hit the area in nearly 2 years.
In New England, they've been preparing for the past 24 hours with folks on the Massachusetts coast boarding up their windows, while crews in Rhode Island lined up the plows. The big concern this morning is on the roads. All that rain and snow could make for a messy commute along some of the most traveled arteries in the country. And that prompted New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy to issue this warning.
Please, if you can, we suggest staying off the roads tomorrow morning. And if you can, work from home. Tomorrow's a good day to do just that.
Tomorrow morning is now this morning. We have full team coverage. Meteorologist Angie Lassman is tracking the winter storm. Just a few minutes, we're going to talk to Providence, Rhode Island Mayor Brett Smiley about how his city is preparing. Let's begin, though, with NBC News correspondent Tremaine Lee in Brooklyn, New York. Tremaine, good morning. So officials in cities on the I-95 corridor in the Northeast want to make sure everyone is prepared. So what should you expect right now walking out the door this morning?
That's right, Joe. It's early in the storm already, but if you're trying to get to work on the I-95 corridor anywhere between Philadelphia and Boston, expect 40-mile-per-hour gusts, whiteout conditions, which is a big concern. Now, if you're in Brooklyn here in New York City, we're not at the heart of the storm just yet. The rain is just now crossing over to snow, already pretty cold, already pretty nasty. As we heard some of those officials say, if you don't need to be out here, you shouldn't be out here unless you're a school kid and you're off from school and you get a chance to play in the snow or you're walking your dogs or running. Besides that, stay warm, stay safe inside.
Tremaine, the worst of the storm is set to hit, as you said, in a little while, which then, of course, is going to mean it's right in the middle of the morning commute. We've already seen some flights being canceled, things like that. Tell us about other preparations. What are officials doing ahead of this storm?
Officials are warning folks and urging folks, again, just to stay home. The schools, New York City public schools, the largest school district in the country, has already gone remote. We've seen the plows out a little early, salting the ground. Hundreds of flights between the three major metropolitan airports in Newark and LaGuardia and JFK. Several hundred flights have already been canceled. And again, officials are urging folks, because in New York City that the heart of the storm will hit right during the heart of rush hour. So they're urging folks just to stay home.
Yeah, and so, I mean, Tremaine, here in New York, we've seen something of a snow drought the last 2+ years, basically the last 3 winters. What's it actually going to look like here in New York?
That's right. It's been a little bit of a drought, so I know some folks, not those of us who have to stand out here and report the news, are looking forward to this. But if you are a school kid home from school, as much as 6 inches or more in Central Park and across the city. And so it's been 2 years. The drought is finally broken. Again, the estimates are getting a little lower from last night, but 6 inches or more of snow dropping here in New York City.
We will take whatever we can get for those of us who have been starved for snow.
Yeah, I know.
Over
We're
these
sorry
past
for
few
you,
years.
Tremaine.
Tremaine,
but
thank you so much.
For more, for more on this, we're joined by the mayor of Providence, Rhode Island, Brett Smiley. Mayor Smiley, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. So your city bracing up for nearly a foot of snow here. How are you preparing for this?
Yeah, we've also not had a storm like this in 2 years, but we're fully prepared, and our crews have been out working since about 4 a.m. pre-treating the roads, and pretty much everything is shut down in Rhode Island today. So no school, state offices are closed, city offices are closed, and we're encouraging everyone to stay off the roads to allow our snow removal teams to do their job and try to get the city back in shape for tomorrow, Valentine's Day. I heard you talking about that at the top of the show, Providence is the culinary capital of New England, and we want to make sure that everyone can go out for Valentine's Day tomorrow night. So we're working as hard as we can.
Love that.
Something to keep in mind ahead of this. You know, folks in the Northeast obviously are generally used to snow, but the last few years, because we haven't had much, usually the first time you go out there and drive doesn't go so well as maybe when you get a few other times under your belt. What are your biggest concerns as the storm settles into the Northeast right now?
So if we can keep cars off the road today, then we will be able to do our work. What we really encourage folks to do is to check on their neighbors and to be, you know, a little extra neighborly and compassionate of whether people have mobility issues, the elderly, to give a helping hand to make sure that you help your neighbors shovel their sidewalk and just check on one another. It has been a little while since we've had a storm like this, almost 2 years, and the city and state government does its part, but there's still a responsibility for citizens to do theirs as well. And so, you know, it's a tight-knit community here. And so we're encouraging everyone to just check on their neighbors and stay off the roads. And, you know, unlike New York, this is not a distance learning day for our kids. Our kids just have no school today. And I think there's something to be said for a good old-fashioned snow day for young people. And so fully expect the kids to be out sledding and doing things like that today. And then we want to be back in business tomorrow.
Absolutely. For people who maybe do need to get to work for whatever reason, what do you want people who do have to take to the roads to keep in mind this morning?
Yeah, use a little extra caution. It's slippery right now. The snow's coming down pretty heavy here. We have fully transitioned into snow, and over the next couple of hours, we're going to see snowfall rates between 1 and 2 inches an hour, which is very heavy snow. And so please allow extra time. Understand there's going to be parking restrictions throughout the city and throughout the state, really. If you're a frontline worker, whether you work in healthcare or another care industry where you have to do that work in person, we're encouraging people to leave an extra half hour or more in their commute to make sure that they can take the time that they need to be cautious when driving and make a plan for how they're going to get to work.
All right. Providence Mayor Brett Smiley, we are thinking about you this morning. Thank you so much for sharing your plans with us.
Thank you.
I love to hear that kids are getting an old school snow day. How about that? So how much snow can we expect in the Northeast? Let's get a check on your morning news now weather.
Angie Lastman's in studio with us. Hey, Angie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Snow lovers are rejoicing across parts of the Northeast where we have those winter alerts in effect for 46 million people, but we're already seeing some busy conditions when it comes to the snow and still the rain. Here's the look at the radar right now. Notice that we're not all dealing with the snow. We've got Atlantic City, basically south, still dealing with some of that rain, but we have transitioned over into the snow in places like New York, stretching up to Hartford, out over portions of Long Island, and we're going to see the snow stick around for the next couple of hours. Here's the timing in all of these places. Washington, D.C., you guys are going to wrap up that kind of steady snowfall pretty quick. You've really only got about an hour to see it from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll see Philadelphia from about 8 a.m. until noon. And then as we look to New York, we do start to see things really wrapping up here when it comes to the steadiest of that snowfall by about 1 p.m. So we go into our second half of the day, not a whole lot of snow going to be falling beyond that, but we still will be dealing with the gusty winds across this region even through the rest of your day today. Moving a little farther to the north, folks in Boston, about 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Notice that does go a little farther into the afternoon, but still, it looks like at least the falling snow will be wrapping up by the time we get out for that afternoon commute. If you are one of the people that do have to go into work today, even Providence, places in that surrounding region, about 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. is when you're looking at that snow falling at a good clip. Here's the deal as far as the snowfall totals. These have changed a whole lot over the past couple of days. This was a difficult forecast. If we're honest with you as meteorologists, this was a tough one. We've got some really warm conditions that have been taking shape over the past couple of days, so our surfaces are very warm. The steady snowfall, though, looks like we'll pick up maybe 3 to 7 inches in New York. We could see a little higher amounts as you go out towards Providence, 4 to 8 inches there. Boston has seen these numbers come way down over the past 48 hours. 2 to 4 inches we're expecting there. And the last time we saw a significant snowstorm like this, we've got to go all the way back to late January of 2022. We had 8 inches of snow in Philadelphia, in New York, and Boston picked up 2 feet of snow. So it's not going to be that kind of snowstorm for our friends in Boston, but it'll be impactful, causing some issues on the roadways and such in places like New York to Providence. As far as the winds are concerned, that's going to be another issue here. I mentioned they'll stick with us through the day today. And here are some of those peak gusts: 25-mile-per-hour gusts in New York, Atlantic City, of course, closer to the coast. You're going to see those higher wind gusts, 43-mile-per-hour wind gusts we're expecting. Washington, D.C., 38-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So even after the snow works out, and we start to get things under control as far as the roads are concerned, we're still going to be looking at some coastal flooding concerns. This is what we'll have to watch for here as we go into the later parts of today, especially around high tide. We could see some of those flooding concerns along the coast for folks in this area. Notice that those onshore winds could push 1 to maybe 2 feet of inundation up into those locations. So this will be something that we'll have to watch for here as we go through at least the later parts of today, from Boston stretching down to Atlantic City. Guys, otherwise across the country, we've got some nice conditions if you're looking for it. Mild for the plains. These temperatures across the plains, they're running way above average once again. And we've got another storm system that we're going to keep track of. It's moving down from Canada. It's a clipper system. That means it's a fast moving system from Canada. It is going to bring some folks a little bit of snow as we get into tomorrow across parts of the Midwest, and eventually New England will see those impacts too. But look at the lower third of the country. It's bright and sunshiny, and I don't think people in Miami are thinking about snow at all. Look at that temperature, 81 degrees. And good news for our friends out in California, too. They had, a busy week last week with all of that rain. They are looking dry and nice and comfortable, just how they like it, right? That's why they live there.
That's why they live there.
Exactly. The rest of the country's like, what's the fuss? What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, right. Any chance, Angie, in the Northeast of power outages?
I think, yeah, with those wind gusts, 30, 40 mile per hour, I mean, there's definitely a good chance of that. I don't think the snow, the weight of the snow is as big of an issue as we oftentimes see it, but of course, there's definitely a chance of those power outages, so prepare for them.
All right, something we'll keep an eye on. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Well, we are learning new details this morning about the woman who stormed a popular Houston megachurch, opening fire and sending churchgoers scrambling. New video shows law enforcement searching the home of the shooting suspect, ultimately finding some troubling items. A motive is still unclear, but police say they believe she acted alone. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky has the latest on the investigation.
Chilling new details about the shooter at Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston, where gunfire Sunday sent members running for cover.
They were repetitive, boom, 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 and I yelled, "Mom!"
Police identified the shooter as 36-year-old Genesee Yvonne Moreno and say she was carrying an AR-15 with the word Palestine written on it. Police say they also found anti-Semitic writings during a recent search warrant.
We have uncovered some items. We do have some anti-Semitic writings that we have uncovered during this process. But like I said, we are 24 hours into it.
Investigators say a dispute between Moreno and her ex-husband's family, some of whom are Jewish, may be related to the shooting. At the church, witnesses say the shooter was wearing a trench coat and opened fire almost immediately after walking inside.
The first thing that I thought, that I was like, I need to hold my kids really hard, and I thought that I maybe would die after that.
Police confirming Moreno entered the church with her 7-year-old son and was armed with multiple weapons and ammunition. 2 off-duty officers returning fire, killing the shooter. Her son critically injured in the crossfire.
They held their ground in the face of rifle fire at point-blank range. And they continued to fire until the perpetrator was neutralized, and they did not yield.
Law enforcement records show the shooter had at least 6 prior arrests since 2005, including unlawful carrying of a weapon, which she pleaded guilty to, evading arrest, and assault on a public official, which she pleaded to a lesser charge. Moreno's neighbors saying she filed a restraining order against her in November. Police adding in 2016, authorities placed Moreno under an emergency detention order.
We do believe that she does have a mental health history that is documented through us and through interviews with family members.
The shooting Sunday came minutes before the megachurch's Spanish service, where 1 member was wounded but is expected to make a full recovery.
We're devastated. I mean, we've been here 65 years and have somebody shooting in your church. But, we don't understand why these things happen, but we know God's in control.
All right. Our thanks to Morgan Chesky for that report.
Breaking news this morning, senators on Capitol Hill have passed a foreign aid bill that will help Israel, Ukraine, and other allies. The $95 billion package passed by a vote of 70 to 29 after a rare all-night session. But in the House, Speaker Mike Johnson has repeatedly said that he has no intention of bringing it before his chamber. Many House Republicans oppose more aid for Ukraine in favor of increased security at the southern border.
Well, Jordan is joining the U.S. in its calls against an Israeli invasion of Rafah. That's a city in southern Gaza. President Biden met with Jordan's King Abdullah II yesterday at the White House. It was their first meeting since 3 U.S. soldiers were killed in a drone strike at a military base in Jordan late last month.
The two leaders discussed the ongoing situation in Gaza, including how to end the war and a plan for what comes next. They also addressed the growing concerns over a possible Israeli military operation in Rafah.
We cannot afford an Israeli attack on Rafah. It is certain to produce another humanitarian catastrophe. We cannot stand by and let this continue.
The major military operation in Rafah should not proceed without a credible plan for ensuring the safety and support of more than 1 million people sheltering there.
NBC News correspondent Aaron Gilchrist joins us now with more on their meeting. Aaron, good morning. So this is the first time the president has appeared alongside an Arab leader at the White House since the Israel-Gaza war began. Tell us the significance of the timing of this particular meeting and what role also is Jordan playing behind the scenes?
Well, timing-wise, Savannah and Joe, good morning to you. This is something that we've watched the key players in the Middle East, the countries that have a lot of influence, like Jordan, trying to make sure that they're getting out and gathering as much support for the ideas around a pause or a ceasefire in the fighting there, but also the humanitarian crisis that is developing there. The Jordanian king is on a mission this week, first stopping here in the U.S., then going on to Canada, trying to rally support for what he's called an immediate ceasefire. The Jordanians told us that before this visit happened yesterday. And so that was a key part of the conversation that the Jordanian king had with President Biden yesterday at the White House. Of course, we know the administration has said that a ceasefire, an out-and-out ceasefire, is not something that it's asking for, but it does want to see a long-term humanitarian pause, as the president referenced, and the White House spokespersons have been telling us throughout the last several days as well, while the U.S. is working on this deal that is slow to come together at this point, Savannah and Joe.
Yeah, so Aaron, what are we hearing from the president when it comes to trying to get this hostage release deal?
Well, the president is saying that his team is still working on it. You may remember, obviously, we had the first deal that happened back in November where there was a pause and a release of hostages. And now the effort is to get the remainder of the hostages released. But there's been this back and forth about what exactly that might look like between the Israelis and Hamas, obviously with the Qataris acting as an intermediary, and the U.S. and Egypt keep partners in the effort to get this deal done. I want you to hear the president talk about this a little bit in his remarks from the White House yesterday. Listen.
The United States is working on a hostage deal between Israel and Hamas, which would bring an immediate and sustained period of calm to Gaza for at least 6 weeks, which we could then take the time to build something more enduring. The key element of the deals are on the table. There are gaps that remain, but I've encouraged Israeli leaders to keep working to achieve the deal. The United States will do everything possible to make it happen.
And so the administration has told us that this deal is pretty much there. That was the quote we got from a senior administration official over the weekend. We know that today the CIA director, William Burns, is in Egypt, meeting with the Qatari prime minister and meeting with his Israeli counterpart as well, trying to craft the final terms of a deal and get this across the finish line. Bill Burns was a key player in the first deal that was done. And so when he shows up, we expect that potentially this week we could see something finally come together.
Aaron, President Biden has publicly criticized Israel's plans in this war. We also saw some of that language coming from him as well as from Jordan, but we've not specifically seen Biden or any of his administration officials publicly support doing something like restricting aid to Israel or maybe imposing conditions on it. Have White House officials indicated whether we could be close to that point if Israel follows through with this specific planned ground assault on Rafah?
So you heard the president say that he doesn't want to see a major ground incursion into Rafah anytime soon, certainly without the conditions that would allow for the million-plus people who were pushed into Rafah as the fighting was going on in northern parts of Gaza without having a protection plan in place for them. The administration at this point officially is saying that its policy on Israel has not changed, its support for Israel has not changed, but we do know that there, through some administration officials, that there is talk about a plan being at least put on paper so that the administration wanted to restrict or put conditions on some of the aid that it's providing. There is a plan to do that. But, Savannah and Joe, at this point, officially, the U.S. has not changed its policy and its position on what Israel is ultimately trying to do, and that is dismantle Hamas.
All right, Aaron Gilchrist, thank you very much.
In the wake of threats that U.S. troops are facing in the Middle East, America's top military officer is speaking out. Air Force General C.Q. Brown, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, sat down with NBC Nightly News anchor Lester Holt. They discussed military relations overseas and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's recent hospitalization.
Not since he went back into the hospital, but over the course of the past month, even while he was in the hospital, had good communications with him. What I will say is I wish him a speedy recovery.
Were you personally stung or disappointed by the way it went the first time he was treated and ultimately hospitalized?
Well, I know Secretary Austin highlighted that he felt he could have done better in the communication. Again, from my perspective, the communication I had, the things I needed to do in my role as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, I didn't have any concerns.
And I pressed him about those controversial comments by Republican frontrunner Donald Trump regarding NATO. What do you take of that?
Well, we have an alliance, and we have a strong alliance. I think we have a responsibility to uphold those alliances.
It's part of your role right now to reassure NATO that despite what they may hear, that the U.S. is still committed?
The U.S. is committed, and that's the message I communicate. That's the message that's been received.
On Friday, General Brown visiting Navy ships just returning from the Middle East. Part of your job is providing the president military options. When it came to what we're seeing in the Middle East right now, what was the overriding requirement of the plans you came up with?
Well, without getting into the details, I'll just say that the broad areas that we focus on is one, to deter any further aggression, not let the conflict broaden, at the same time protect our forces.
Do you think Iran wants war with the U.S.?
I don't know that they do. Having watched Iran operate, they will do things through their militia groups and others to put pressure to achieve their objectives. At the same time, not looking for a broader conflict with the United States.
And during this Black History Month, I asked America's top general about this video that made headlines where he spoke passionately right after the death of George Floyd.
I'm thinking about wearing the same flight suit with the same wings on my chest as my peers, and they being questioned by another military member, are you a pilot?
And you were in the Pacific Air Force then. What made you do that?
Our youngest son, on a Sunday, called my wife and I, and he was really struggling with the death of George Floyd. And it bothered me as well. And our son asked me, Dad, what is Pacific Air Force is going to say? And at the time, I'm the commander of Pacific Air Force. And so what he was really asking me, Dad, what are you going to say? Had no intent for it to go as broad as it did, but I'm glad it did. I think it gave a voice to many because they were feeling much of the same. And I'm glad I was able to do it.
And sharing with us his inspiration during his career, the legendary Tuskegee Airmen. You spoke at Shaw Air Force Base about the Tuskegee Airmen. What is it you want, as people look at you and your experience, what do you want us to know and think about?
Opportunity. I think all I've ever wanted throughout my Air Force career is just an equal opportunity to compete. And not judge me based on the color of my skin, but judge me on the merit of my capability. And I think that's what all of our service members want. They just want an opportunity. I'm an ordinary person with an extraordinary opportunity. I want to make sure that I do everything I can to open a door for others.
Our thanks to Lester Holt for that interview.
And there is much more to come here on Morning News Now. Later this hour, no love for Valentine's Day. You are not alone. Why so many singles are feeling blue ahead of the holiday.
Up first after the break, former President Donald Trump trying again to put his election interference case on hold. We're going to break down his 11th hour request to the Supreme Court next. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Former President Donald Trump is asking the Supreme Court to put on hold an appeals court ruling that found he does not have presidential immunity from criminal prosecution.
The case stems from his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election. While it's not an official request for the Supreme Court to take the case, if they agree to Trump's request, it would pause the criminal case while the former president and his legal team prepare his full appeal, delaying the trial. Trump is facing a 4-count indictment in Washington, including charges of conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. He has pleaded not guilty.
NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos joins us now with more on this. So let's walk through this filing by Trump and his legal team. What is it they're seeking? How much of this is just trying to delay things past the election?
The words you just said. Now, I'll explain exactly what's going on procedurally, is that now that Trump has asked for a stay, the mandate, which is the D.C. Circuit's sending the case back down to the district court, that's going to be paused while the court considers this emergency request for a stay. Justice Roberts has a couple options. He can deny it, which is, I don't think, likely, or he can refer it to the full court. He can issue a stay himself. But from here, it's likely that it will stay at the Supreme Court for at least the foreseeable future. If it takes up the case, then, of course, the lower proceedings are paused during that time. And part of the strategy here for Trump is because the D.C. Circuit put in its order that, hey, you guys can ask us, the appeals court, for a rehearing, but if you do, the lower case, the case in the trial court, your criminal case, goes on. And that's one of the other requests that Trump has for the Supreme Court, to pause the D.C. Circuit's proceedings as well.
So you just laid out some of the possible actions. Of course, the big question here is, when does any of this actually get underway after something like this? And then how does that kind of put it on a collision course with the election? How soon could we even just get the answers to these first few steps?
This is the #1 question I get on all of these Trump cases. And the answer is, who knows? And I'm not saying that to be glib. All I can tell you is what most litigators know from their normal, ordinary dealings with appellate courts. But most litigators do not have former presidents as their clients who are asserting never before asserted immunity claims. I'll just say as an aside, one of the strongest arguments the Trump team has for the Supreme Court to even hear this case is that Jack Smith himself said in December, hey, Supreme Court needs to hear this case eventually. Now, back then, the strategies were different. Jack Smith then wanted to leapfrog the D.C. Court of Appeals in order to service the #1 mission of each side, which nobody talks about in court, which is, as you pointed out, Joe, speed. Jack Smith wants this case resolved as quickly as possible. The Trump team would drag this out till past the inauguration, after which all federal cases, poof, disappear.
Well, we have you. Let's talk about the Georgia election interference case. The judge overseeing that says it's possible Fulton County DA Fani Willis could be disqualified over misconduct allegations involving personal relationship with the lead prosecutor in the case. Help us understand what's going on here. How in danger is this case?
Very much in danger. And here's a helpful way to think about this case, because it can seem like a kind of frivolous motion if you think of it only as the defendant has filed a motion to dismiss the indictment because 2 of the prosecutors may have been engaged in some romantic tryst. That's not really what this motion is about. It's really 2 parts. Number 1, that the special prosecutor in prosecuting this case was improperly appointed. And if so, then the indictment itself, the case itself, is invalid. But also related to that is that the two prosecutors, the DA and the special prosecutor, should be disqualified because of the appearance of impropriety. And that's magic language in lawyer land. When you're talking about disciplinary rules, when you're talking about the rules of ethics, it's not always whether something is improper. For lawyers and the bar itself, it's the appearance of impropriety. And if it's true that the prosecutor, the DA, was accepting vacations, almost like a kickback from the special prosecutor going on vacations that were paid by the state, and if it's true that the special prosecutor's already been paid over $500,000 for a government job, then those are some red flags, and there may be a conflict of interest if Fani Willis is getting some of that back. There's a very real chance these prosecutors might be disqualified. Now, technically, that doesn't mean the end of the case, but spiritually, if Fani Willis is the person pushing this case, what happens if its chief architect is no longer on?
All right, we'll keep an eye on it. Danny, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Now let's get you some international news. Farmers are hitting the streets of India protesting the prices of crops.
NBC News foreign correspondent Claudio Lavanga joined us from Rome with that and other world news. Claudio, good morning.
Joe, Savannah, good morning. That's right. Thousands of farmers from across India have been trying to reach the capital, New Delhi, for days now, but they have so far been stopped by the police. They are seeking assured prices for their crops and say they will protest until their key demands have been fulfilled. Indian police sealed the borders across the capital to prevent them from entering in an attempt to avoid a repeat of what happened in 2020 when farmers blocked key highways, bringing the city to a gridlock. Now, 2 rounds of talks between farm union leaders and the government have so far failed to break the deadlock. Let's come back to this part of the world, to the Vatican, where on Monday, the new president of Argentina, Javier Milei, met fellow Argentinian Pope Francis. The two were all smiles despite a rocky start, very rocky start, because last year Milei called the Pope an imbecile and representative of evil. But recently the Argentinian president changed his tone, calling the Pope the most important person in Argentina. Since he became Pope in 2013, Francis has never returned to his home country. But recently he announced he will finally travel to Buenos Aires at some point this year. And let's end this tour of the world in Rio de Janeiro, where on Sunday night, performers in the world-famous Carnival parade made an urgent plea to stop illegal mining in indigenous lands. Carnival dancers painted their faces red in a traditional indigenous way, while percussionists wrote "miners out" on their drums. The aim by organizers was to draw attention to the devastating effects brought by illegal mining in territory which is home to the Yanomami people in the Amazon. The Yanomami are suffering from malnutrition and diseases such as malaria as a consequence of illegal mining. Back to you guys.
All right, Claudia, thank you so much.
Coming up, the lasting impacts of jury duty. When we come back, we're going to explain why so many people report having trauma after serving as jurors.
And pickleball problems. The new warning from doctors as injuries from the sport skyrocket. This is Morning News Now. Welcome back. It is time for our weekly mental health check-in. We're kicking things off with the hidden impact of serving on a jury.
Plus, new research shows that one simple act that can be surprisingly effective at helping with stress.
Here to help us out is licensed marriage and family therapist, Dr. George James. Dr. James, always wonderful to have you with us. So let's start on jury duty. So research is showing that up to 50% of jurors around the world actually experience signs of trauma while serving. That sounds like a huge number. Break this down for us, and what should people do in these situations?
Yeah, good morning, Joe and Savannah. Yes, when we think about jurors, they have to listen and be in presence of some of the most worst and traumatic situations, and they hear these things over and over and over again. And some of the jurors are also dealing with their own personal struggles that could be triggered, which might result in sleepless nights, some anxiety, some overall flashbacks, which are symptoms of PTSD. So it's really important that we do more for our jurors, and in some countries, they're not allowed to actually speak to therapists or get help. This actually should not be the case. They should probably have counselors everywhere so they can deep breathe and also find ways so that they can sleep and be at a better place and not be so overwhelmed.
Something to definitely keep in mind there. All right, so we know that Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Not everyone, though, might be feeling the love. Some studies show the Valentine's Day blues are a real phenomenon. So what exactly are the Valentine's Day blues, and what are some of the best ways to avoid it or deal with it?
Yeah, the thing about Valentine's Day is that it says that everybody should be in love and everybody should be happy and everybody should be in a great relationship. And that's just not the case. There's some people who are not in good relationships. There's some people who are not in a relationship at all. So it can make you feel like there's something wrong with you. And then also people compare themselves to other people, what other people are doing for Valentine's Day versus what they are. And then overall, a level of loneliness. And so all these things can add up. But the important part is to know that you are okay just the way that you are. Connect with those around you, find other things, and really practice some self-compassion. I am good the way that I am, whether I'm in a relationship or not.
Great advice there. All right, doctor, last one. A survey out of Japan is saying that regularly taking a bath can make you happier. It can make you less stressed. I think a lot of people associate a bath with kind of relaxing or some me time, but what is this real link here to happiness?
Yeah, what they found out, especially in Japan, taking baths is a really big thing. So some people take baths up to 4 times a week or more. And I think what they found out is that there's something that could be soothing for people. Now, what we're not sure of is it that people already have more time in their schedule, they're already less stressed, and the bath helps, or that the bath helps them to be less stressed? either way, it is saying that there might be some connection. So if you're a shower person, maybe you want to add some baths, or maybe some free time to just relax and think about your day and enjoy yourself. And a soothing bath and a bath bomb could really be helpful with that.
And the rubber ducky video helps.
Yeah.
Nice
Never
little touch
forget.
there. All right.
Dr. James, thank you.
The sport of pickleball has exploded in popularity, especially among older Americans. But all those hours on the pickleball court may come at a cost. A new study finds serious injuries are on the rise. NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda has the details.
A tamer take on tennis. Pickleball has taken the country by storm.
This is pickleball?
Even featured in a Super Bowl ad.
Pickle!
Yeah,
But as the sport soared in popularity, so has the number of serious injuries. A first-of-its-kind study revealing bone fractures from pickleball increased more than 250% from 2017 to 2022. With most occurring during falls and among players over 60.
They haven't necessarily grown up playing it, and so they are, one, physically more susceptible to injury, and then two, there's some issues with balance and coordination.
And it's not just fractures. Doctors say sprained ankles, rotator cuff injuries, and Achilles tendon tears are also common.
I loved it.
David Goldstein has an active lifestyle, but 45 minutes into his first pickleball clinic, tore his Achilles.
When I went to move forward, my shoe didn't move, but my Achilles took the brunt of that kind of, forward motion, and that was it.
There's less ground to cover in pickleball versus tennis, and much of the game is played close to the net, what's called the kitchen. But it's still dynamic, with lots of starting and stopping.
It's about creating an arc.
Eric Ho is an instructor and founder of New York City Pickleball.
You have to listen to your body, right, and understand your own body's limitations.
So how can you avoid injury? Doctors suggest warming up before playing, investing in lessons to learn the proper mechanics, and taking a break from the sport when soreness lingers, as an increase in injuries is serving up a challenge to America's fastest growing sport. Emily Ikeda, NBC News.
Be safe out there.
Yes.
Coming up, a driver dispute that could slam the brakes on your plans for Valentine's Day. We'll explain why you may have trouble getting a ride tomorrow.
And if you're looking for an alternative, it probably won't be Gen Z. Why so many young people are skipping out on getting a driver's license. You're watching Morning News Now.
We are back now with some financial headlines, and a referendum on some pesky credit card fees could soon be headed to Capitol Hill.
CNBC's Silvana Henao has that and other money news. Silvana, good morning.
Joe, Savannah, good morning to you. Yes, so the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee is asking the CEOs of American Airlines, United, Visa, and MasterCard to testify at a hearing on credit card fees. Now, Senator Dick Durbin says American and United oppose efforts to bring more competition to the market to protect the billions of dollars in profit they collect through their co-branded cards. He says Visa and MasterCard levied $93 billion in fees on consumers and small businesses just in 2022. Last year, airlines lobbied Congress to reject legislation they say threatens their ability to offer rewards cards that give consumers frequent flyer miles for making purchases. The internet has been buzzing over rumors Microsoft will start publishing video games exclusive to Xbox on competing consoles. Xbox chief Phil Spencer is expected to share updates on the business tomorrow. Among the speculation, the new Indiana Jones game may also show up on the PS5. It's unusual for Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo to outsource first-party games to other platforms, but it's not unheard of. And IHOP is celebrating National Pancake Day with a free short stack. Customers can get 3 buttermilk pancakes at participating restaurants between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. today. IHOP has paired the annual tradition with a month-long fundraising campaign to assist those suffering from food insecurity. Customers can add a few more dollars to their bills throughout February. In New York and New Jersey, the short stack will require a $1 donation, guys. I am hungry.
I know.
But today, look ready.
Be careful in those areas on the road.
Yes,
get your free
absolutely.
pancakes.
That's right.
Savannah, thank you so much.
So it may be a little harder to get a ride or have dinner delivered on this Valentine's Day.
That is because thousands of drivers across the U.S. for ride-sharing platforms, Uber, Lyft, and the food delivery app DoorDash are expected to go on strike. They are asking for more pay and a change to the way the apps calculate pricing.
Josh Idelson is a labor reporter for Bloomberg News and Business Week. Joins us now to talk more about this. Good morning, Josh. So what is the union calling for, and how many drivers are we talking? Sorry, what union is calling for the strike, and how many drivers are we talking about here?
Thanks for having me. There's a range of groups around the country that have come together to call for work stoppages on Valentine's Day. These include the Independent Drivers Guild, which is part of the Machinists Union, a range of local groups. Separately, the group Rideshare Drivers United and other organizations have called for a work stoppage. All of these organizations are urging changes to how drivers are paid. The context here is that drivers for these apps, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, are classified by the companies they work for as independent contractors who are excluded from U.S. minimum wage law and from the right to unionize under federal law. They're part of a larger and growing group of workers in the U.S. who are doing work for companies that set rules for them and make money off of them, but legally say they're not their boss. And we've seen a range of efforts by workers in that situation, whether they're classified as contractors or subcontracted or franchised, to find ways to have more of a say in their working conditions, including their pay.
So we mentioned this potentially impacting Valentine's Day. Tell us what you know about the timing on this and just how noticeable disruption will be.
Well, we'll see how many drivers these groups are able to mobilize. These types of work stoppages can be harder to measure because these workers are not classified as traditional employees, and the companies point out that they are not required to work 9 to 5 shifts the way that some workers are. Valentine's Day, drivers have said, is a busy time, and so they expect to make more of an impact and force more attention from the companies and also from lawmakers who regulate these companies by proverbially walking off the job at a time when people are particularly likely to be trying to get to that Valentine's date by calling a ride.
Are ride-sharing companies saying anything about the strike?
The companies have said that drivers prefer the flexibility, in their view, that comes with the independent contractor model. They've also said that they've been working to improve that model and get drivers more of the money that comes from their work.
All right, Josh Idelson, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your reporting and your time.
Thank you.
Well, from quiet quitting to drinking less and going to bed earlier, Gen Z does things their own way. Well, now the younger generation is changing another American institution, driving. Now fewer people in this age range are getting their driver's license. NBC News correspondent Dana Griffin looks at what's behind the trend.
Getting a driver's license may not feel like a ticket to freedom for a lot of teens and young adults like it used to.
Offhand, I'd say you failed.
Failed? Hoping to avoid moments like that, less and less of Gen Z, roughly defined as people born between 97 and 2010, are on the roads.
I'm from New Orleans, which is sort of notorious for having bad drivers. I don't want to put myself in this situation.
Today, just 25% of 16-year-olds have any kind of driver's license. Compare that to nearly 3 decades ago, when that number was more than 40%. Why do all of that when you have things like public transportation, ride sharing, and food delivery apps?
The modern accessibility for getting rides and all of that has sort of balanced out the fact that I don't have a license.
It's also part of some broader shifts we're seeing among Gen Z. They're drinking less.
I know the influence, I know the impact, and I know the vibes.
Sleeping earlier. And across social media, viral content focused on staying in more, self-care, and staying home.
No, because I've got a plan.
What do you mean?
You'll find out.
Why? Part of it may have to do with the fact that their coming of age was interrupted.
Many of these young adults really kind of finished middle school or high school in the pandemic where everything shifted to online. So in real life, kind of interactions seemed less important.
They're spending a lot of their time glued to their phones. Just about half of teens say they're online almost constantly, double that from 2015, according to a recent Pew study. In some cases, dramatically changing how they socialize, according to health officials. Another part, finances. 85% of Gen Z citing one or more barriers to achieving financial success. One expert citing a financial hierarchy when it comes to spending, maybe less on a focus on getting a car and paying insurance and more on groceries and paying off student loans.
I think driving and owning a car just is kind of falling down because there's so many new options that they can utilize. It just isn't the thing that used to be the most priority for other people.
The outcome of some of those financial decisions, some call it an introvert economy.
Instead of trying to figure out how to do it and potentially failing, it's just easier to stay kind of to yourself.
Which could be good for long-term health trends, but potentially exacerbating the loneliness epidemic. Last year, nearly a quarter of Gen Z adults reported always or often feeling lonely over the past 12 months, compared to 18% of millennials, according to the American Enterprise Institute's Survey Center on American Life. But it doesn't have to stay that way.
I'm hoping that as that maturity continues to happen, that thing also impacts how lonely we feel and how we can increase connected communities so that we can decrease some of these other issues.
All right, Dana Griffin, very interesting stuff. Thanks for that report.
Coming up, Chiefs Kingdom. Are you ready for it? That's right. The Super Bowl champs are getting ready to celebrate in Kansas City, where the love for the Chiefs is much bigger than football. We'll have more on the love story between the team and their fans.
See what you did there. Plus, you could call it a slam dunkin'. We'll tell you about the tracksuit trend from one of the Super Bowl's most talked about commercials. Definitely my favorite. Stay with us. This is Morning News Now.
And then just lay it in here. Back. Throw it. Hard. Gun it at me. Come on, baby. Hard, brother.
Please don't.
For real. Touchdown. Hard. Touchdown style.
All right.
That was a little... All right. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
That is a new behind-the-scenes clip from Ben Affleck's standout Super Bowl ad for Dunkin' Donuts. Affleck, of course, teamed up with his wife, Jennifer Lopez, Matt Damon, football legend Tom Brady for the spots. The show is musical trio The Dunkings, failing to impress Lopez. But if you wanted to copy his look, I'm sorry to say you're out of luck. Dunkin' had put the tracksuits on sale, but they sold out in 19 minutes. Don't worry, you can still order the special Dunkings iced coffee and the munchkins that are skewered on there. And maybe you can make your own tracksuit? I don't know. Get some orange material.
Didn't you love this one, Joe?
It was definitely one of the best ads.
Oh my gosh,
I mean, Matt Damon.
Funny.
Matt Damon's energy was everything.
And when Jennifer was like, "You can stay, Tom," I just love that part. Okay, that got me. Thanks, Joe. Well, finally this hour, a closer look at the relationship between the Kansas City Chiefs and their passionate fans. The Chiefs' victory parade will fall on Valentine's Day, marking the latest chapter in their love story. Here's NBC News correspondent Jesse Kirsch.
In Super Bowl overtime, the Chiefs somehow did it again, and Kansas City erupted.
Dynasty, baby, dynasty.
For some, this team is about more than just football.
What were you thinking?
I thought that it was just a miracle.
Without the Chiefs, the Andrade family may not even exist. More than a decade ago, Sue and Fernando met at a Chiefs rally. The proposal involved a Chiefs jersey, and Fernando even reps KC on his ring finger.
What do you say to people when they think this is crazy?
This is us.
And now everybody knows that it's us.
Now their 8-year-old daughter, Annalise, is also a super fan. Her favorite player, Travis Kelce.
I'm like, that guy's good. I had to fall in love with him.
This season, she may not have been the only one. Kelce's fame reaching new heights and legions of fans thanks to a blockbuster romance with Taylor Swift. Overnight, the superstar couple celebrating a new era. The Chiefs are the first back-to-back Super Bowl champions in almost 20 years, with talk of a three-peat already brewing.
And I'm going to do whatever I can to be back in this game next year and trying to go for that three-peat.
But for now, from players to fans, Chiefs Kingdom is full of celebration and love. Jesse Kirsch, NBC News, Kansas City, Missouri.
It's been quite the party in Kansas City.
Yeah, it is. I just can't get enough of that.
All right, that is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us. The news continues right now. Good morning from a very snowy New York. Happy Tuesday. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer. We're following what is expected to be a widespread whiteout across much of the Northeast this morning. On your screen, a look at conditions in Hartford, Connecticut. Several inches of snow could snarl the morning commute for millions. We're already starting to see flight delays and cancellations pile up at major airports from New York to Boston. Speaking of New York, schools here also closed, students going remote as the city braces for what could be the biggest winter storm here in years. We've got full team coverage of what you can expect as you head out the door. We're also learning some disturbing new details about that shooting at Joel Osteen's Houston megachurch, the anti-Semitic material that investigators say was uncovered inside the home of the suspected shooter. We've got money on our minds on this Tuesday morning. The latest read on inflation is out today. Economists predicting yet another slight uptick in prices last month. But what could that mean for Wall Street and Main Street? We're going to break down the new data. And you gotta fight for your right to party. Yeah, parade preps are fully underway in Kansas City for the repeating Super Bowl champs. But one question remains. Will Taylor Swift be in attendance at tomorrow's big celebration? You know her schedule. Does it fit?
I wish I knew. I don't know. I mean, she's about to head to Australia. It's wild what's going on in her life. By the way, that's not exactly how Travis Kelce said it.
No, I can't. I'm not. My voice doesn't go that.
I'm not.
Deep and raspy. So, yeah, I know. All right. I'm sure you'll hear that in a little bit. We're going to begin, of course, with the major winter storm that is here in New York and making its way up the East Coast.
Heavy snow has begun to blanket parts of the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. The powerful nor'easter is creating dangerous driving conditions this morning for millions. Angie Lastman has your full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to get started with Emily Aketa in New Jersey.
Hey there, well, I can tell you the roads are already slick and they're only going to get worse. Parts of the Northeast could be buried by some 10 inches of snow. That's as much snow as people here in North Jersey have seen all season long. And throughout the morning, it's been a bit of a wintry mix. So you can see the consistency of the snow. It is wet and it is heavy, snarling travel both on the roads and in the air.
This morning, a hard-charging storm racing up the coast that could affect 46 million people in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast.
It is snowing in Pennsylvania.
The intense February nor'easter already blanketing snow in southern states like Tennessee overnight, set to dump up to a foot or more in parts of the Northeast, driving serious concerns about the morning commute, with officials in several states urging people to stay home.
We have not had any significant snowfall for quite some time. You know, the time has come. You know, Mother Nature does what she wants to do.
With tens of millions of Americans facing winter alerts, many schools across the region have canceled in-person classes. Overnight, downpours started transitioning to snowfall.
Heavy, wet snow is going to be really hard to shovel, and it's a little bit more exertion than the light, fluffy stuff.
The Boston area, no stranger to severe winter weather, declaring a snow emergency with 850 pieces of snow clearing equipment at the ready.
Make plans to be indoors, stay off the roads. It's looking like it will come down pretty heavily, pretty fast.
Along with the snow, those on the coast are preparing for wind gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour that could cause major power outages and possible flooding this afternoon.
If you live on the water, you're going to have to expect at least a storm once a year to bring up surf, especially if it's a full moon.
Today's wintry mess intensifying from a storm system that already hammered the southeast with hail and heavy rain. Floodwaters closing roads Monday and spilling into neighborhoods.
Y'all be careful on these roads.
Even causing this car to slide into a ditch. But now all eyes turn to the Northeast, bracing for what could be the biggest blast of snow in 2 years.
Use extreme care if you do need to go out.
Already more than 1,000 flights have been canceled across the country because of this winter weather. LaGuardia, JFK, Newark, and Boston airports among the hardest hit. Now, one silver lining, this is a fast-moving storm, and while it is packing a punch with snowfall rates expected to reach 1 to 3 inches an hour, those near-record temperatures we saw all over the weekend will help decrease the amount of snow that could accumulate on the ground. Back to you.
All right, Emily, thank you.
For more on the winter storm, we're joined by New York City's Emergency Management Commissioner, Zach Iskell, which sort of sounds like icicle. Feels fitting here, Zach. Good morning. Good to have you with us. I mean, we're not used to...
I've been called worse.
Exactly.
I've been called worse.
Exactly.
It's good to be with you guys this morning.
You're like, we'll take that. I mean, obviously, we know here in New York, we have not had much snow over the last few winters, so we're a little new to this. How are you preparing? Does everyone remember what to do?
Everybody remembers what to do, and could not be prouder or more grateful for the men and women who work for the city, for our partners who have been working throughout the weekend, and especially over the last 24 hours to make sure the city's prepared. There's a lot that goes into this. We start coordinating with the National Weather Service days in advance. As you are all aware, this forecast changed very quickly. 2 days ago, the forecast called for about an inch of snow. Yesterday morning, that was bumped up to 5 to 8 inches with a worst case scenario of 10 inches. And so what we do is we start working very closely with our partners at Sanitation, FDNY, NYPD, Environmental Protection, Department of Transportation, Park Service around down trees, our utility partners, to make sure the city's prepared. And one of the things that we ask is while the city is doing a lot to prepare for the snow, that the city's doing a lot to respond to the snow, we also ask that New Yorkers take proper preparations. They're monitoring the forecast, that they sign up for our public notification system, Notify NYC, and that they're taking steps to keep themselves and their loved ones safe throughout this weather event.
I mean, you're talking about two totally different types of storms there when the range goes from 1 inch all the way up to potentially 10 inches.
100%.
How much of a challenge is that to kind of work around, prepare for, and did it mean that you had enough time to get adequately prepared?
Yeah, so one of the things that we do is we are constantly monitoring things. We started working the interagency process on Friday. We knew that going into the weekend, we needed to make sure that we were prepared for this. We always look at the worst case scenario, and that's what we sort of prepare for. And so the team did that, and I think you'll see that in the city's response throughout the day today.
What are you seeing so far with the morning commute? You mentioned some tips to people, but if you do have to head out to get to work or wherever it is you're going this morning, what's your top advice?
Yeah, so top advice is if you have to go out, take public transportation. Really, people should be staying off the roads. A couple of reasons for that. Number one, we want people off the roads for their own safety, but also to allow our sanitation crews to be able to plow the roads easier, right? The more traffic that's out there, the harder it is for us to clear the roads. And then also, it's really important to stay off the roads because if there are life safety events, we need our first responders from EMS, from the fire department, from the police department to be able to move around the city pretty easily. And one of the issues we've had in the past with big snowstorms is less about the snow and more about navigating the traffic to contend with the snow.
All right, New York City Emergency Management Commissioner Zach Iskell, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good luck with everything today and in the coming days.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great to be on with you guys.
Let's now track this storm in your Morning News Now weather.
Yeah, and meteorologist Angie Lastman joins us now, and it feels like with every passing minute, it's turning into the storm we've been bracing for, right?
Guys, I went to the window and I looked out, and it's a winter wonderland out there in New York City. And we've got a lot of folks that are dealing with this kind of busy early morning commute with the snow working in. We've got 46 million people under these winter alerts right now. And notice most of this has transitioned over to snow. We probably have some wintry mix going on in places like Atlantic City, Washington, D.C., but we've definitely got snow falling in portions of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and we're going to see that ramp up here through the next basically 4 hours. We've got to get through the next 4 hours before we start to see things kind of calming down. Here's the timeline depending on where you are. Through noon is what we're looking at as far as New York City's steadiest snowfall. Philadelphia, you'll start to see things wrapping up before then. And we look down to Washington, D.C., you really only have about an hour to see some of this steadier snow falling. So those totals in those areas, not all that impressive for Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. As we look a little farther to the north, Boston to Hartford, you'll see this last into the early afternoon hours. The same goes for Providence, too. So you have a little more time with it, with the system in that band of some of that heavier snow. So the totals look like this. We've got 4 to 8 inches expected for places like Providence. You move a little farther to the west, Hartford around 3 to 5 inches. New York City, 3 to 7 inches. I know this looks impressive when it comes to what we've dealt with for the past couple of years. You've got to look back to January of 2022, late January, to see anything that even was close to this. We had 8 inches fall in New York City on that date. But we're still, for this day, year to date, we're about 16 inches under where we should be for average snowfall in places like New York City. Boston, about 1.5 feet under where we should be. So yes, this is some snow that we need, and for all the snow lovers, I'm sure they'll be excited about it, but we're still not where we normally are at this point in the year. But either way, we'll take it. We've got some gusty winds too that likely will cause some problems when it comes to travel. We'll see a little of that blowing snow. This is kind of wet, heavy snow, so just a heads up with that. But the wind gusts, especially out towards the coast, will be quite impressive. Places like Atlantic City, 43-mile-per-hour winds. Ocean City, close to 40 miles per hour. Similar story for Washington, D.C. and New York, 25 to 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So this means a couple of things. We'll start to see that onshore wind happen here as we get into the later parts of today. And that'll come as we're dealing with high tide, too. So if you live in some of those waterfront areas where you oftentimes see flooding, you likely will see that today. Again, it just depends on when your high tide time is, but some of those onshore winds could push 1 foot to 2 feet of water into those areas. So this is going to be something we'll have to watch for through the rest of the day today, guys. As far as the snow is concerned, we'll likely see that wrap up here pretty quick. It's a quick moving system, so kids that had the day off of school, lucky you, you're going to have plenty of time to enjoy the snow in places like Central Park here into the afternoon hours. So it'll be I think a fun one.
You can make a snow angel, right?
You can make a snow angel, Joe. We're going to see that on your Instagram. Sure, I think so. Okay. Like I said, it's kind of that wet, dense snow, so power outages will be likely. But I think a snowball can be made. And
okay, good.
If that can happen, a snowman can be made.
So funny how I'm always the one interested in snow, and Joe jumps right to snow angels.
He does. I feel like this is a common theme.
I'm from Minnesota. We made a lot of snow angels.
I can't wait to see it on Instagram later.
Thanks, Angie.
Thank you. The U.S. is going all out in high-level negotiations to try and bring a ceasefire in Gaza. President Biden met with Jordan's king to discuss the outlines of a hostage deal. Well, CIA Director William Burns begins his diplomatic trip to Egypt, where he'll take part in talks attempting to achieve a pause in fighting. This all comes as Israel nears the launch of its full-scale offensive attack in Rafah, the last refuge in Gaza. NBC News foreign correspondent Molly Hunter joins us now.
Joe, good morning from Jerusalem, actually. And we are watching all of that high-stakes diplomatic activity in the region. As you just mentioned, CIA Director Bill Burns in Cairo meeting with his Israeli counterpart and other regional officials, to try to hammer out a deal that deals with both hostage release and a ceasefire. And while yesterday's hostage rescue was very good news for two families, the remaining hostage families are clear it is no replacement for a deal.
This morning, Israeli hostages Fernando Marman and Louis Har home with their families. This reunion, these hugs, 129 days in the making.
It was very emotional to see them, to hug them, to feel them. It feels almost unreal.
And today, the United States pushing urgent high-level diplomacy in Cairo. CIA Director Bill Burns and Israel's spy chief David Barnea meeting today, according to an Israeli official, to try and close the significant gaps in deal talks. More than 100 hostages remain in Gaza after Monday's risky operation in Rafah. Israeli military videos showing commandos racing into a civilian building. The two Israeli hostages on the second floor, guarded by 3 Hamas gunmen. A minute later, a heavy wave of Israeli airstrikes providing cover, destroying the neighborhood, killing dozens of Palestinian civilians, according to Gaza health officials. The hostages then taken by helicopter to a hospital near Tel Aviv. Do you want a blanket? No, Har says. It is warm in my heart. Hours later, President Biden meeting with Jordanian King Abdullah at the White House. Biden framing the deal as a 6-week ceasefire, allowing both sides to agree on a more enduring deal, but also ramping up pressure on Israel as the death toll in Gaza continues to rise.
Too many of the over 27,000 Palestinians killed in this conflict have been innocent civilians and children.
But Prime Minister Netanyahu argues to root out the final Hamas battalions, raising the city of Rafah is mission critical. For months, the Israeli military has told Palestinians the south would be safe. Seen in October, now packed with 1.4 million displaced Palestinians. Where can we go? Mahmoud Al-Tamni asks. God knows there is no safe place.
And Joe, this man told our crew he can't go back to Khan Yunis because the fighting is so intense. They can't go forward, of course, because Rafah is that southernmost city slammed up against the border in Egypt. And there is growing panic this morning. We hear from people in Gaza that Israel may move into Rafah before a deal is struck. And the Israeli military tells my colleague Raf Sanchez that they have not yet drawn up an evacuation plan for the 1.4 million Palestinians who are already displaced in the south of the Strip. Joe?
Questions about what happens next. All right, Molly Hunter, thank you so much. Breaking on Capitol Hill this morning, the Senate has passed a foreign aid bill to Ukraine and Israel.
The $95 billion package also includes funds to Taiwan and other Indo-Pacific allies. The bill passed with a vote of 70 to 29. However, after months of negotiations to even get to this point, the bill could be headed for a more difficult path through the House. Speaker Mike Johnson indicated he wouldn't even bring the bill before the House because it does not address the issue of border security. This comes just weeks after Senate Republicans blocked a bill with border provisions, which they had helped to negotiate. Well, former President Donald Trump is asking the Supreme Court to intervene in his 2020 election interference case. It comes as Trump moves to tighten his grip on the Republican Party leadership ahead of next weekend's South Carolina primary. NBC News correspondent Garrett Haake joins us now on this. Hey, Garrett, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning. Yeah, Donald Trump's operational control of the GOP is really on full display over the last 24 hours, as Republicans largely shrugged off his controversial comments about NATO, while overnight the former president moved to elevate his daughter-in-law for a top job in the party. Overnight, Donald Trump announcing an overhaul of the GOP, the Republican presidential frontrunner aiming to tighten his control over the party, endorsing a loyalist as party chairman, his daughter-in-law Laura Trump as party co-chair, and pushing the installation of a senior campaign advisor as the party's chief operating officer. A party spokesperson saying no changes, which would require an RNC vote, will be made until after the South Carolina primary next week.
Each and every one of you is going to get out and vote and deliver a gigantic win right here in South Carolina.
Trump now 3-0 in early states, hoping for a knockout primary win against his last remaining rival, Nikki Haley. The former South Carolina governor trailing Trump by more than 30 points in her home state, according to a new poll.
He's not qualified to be the president of the United States.
Haley attacking Trump on the campaign trail Monday for saying he would refuse to defend any NATO country attacked by Russia if they weren't keeping up with defense spending.
I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
That's not somebody who's going to prevent a war. That's somebody who's going to get us in a war. And that kind of rhetoric was unhinged.
But with few other Republicans criticizing his comments, Mr. Trump digging in, arguing on social media his negotiating tactics, quote, made NATO strong.
We will defend, if needed, every inch of NATO territory. That's what the Commander-in-Chief of the United States ought to be saying when it comes to NATO.
Mr. Trump on Monday also filing an appeal to the Supreme Court, asking justices to overturn an appeals court ruling that he had no immunity from prosecution for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Now, that Supreme Court filing keeps the special counsel's election interference case against Mr. Trump on pause until the high court weighs in. Mr. Trump's delays tactics have already pushed the start date of that trial out of the month of March and perhaps well into the summer or fall if it starts at all. Savannah?
All right, Garrett, thank you so much.
We're learning new details about the shooter who opened fire at Joel Osteen's church Sunday. Law enforcement officials say they found anti-Semitic material while searching through items at her home. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky joined us from Houston with the latest. Morgan, good morning.
Yeah, Joe, good morning. And it's that anti-Semitic material combined with the fact authorities say the word Palestine was written on the rifle that has them saying they have yet to rule out a hate crime or even terrorism as a potential motivating cause here. In the meantime, we're also hearing that the shooter's 7-year-old son remains in critical condition after police say she brought him inside this very church when she pulled out that rifle and opened fire. More than 24 hours after gunfire rang out through Houston's Lakewood megachurch, investigators are painting a troubling picture of the woman they say opened fire. Houston police identifying the deceased shooter as 36-year-old Genesee Yvonne Moreno, telling NBC News she was carrying an AR-15 with the word Palestine written on it. A search of Moreno's home yielding ingredients to make explosives and written material with a very clear message.
We do have some anti-Semitic writings that we have uncovered during this process.
Law enforcement records show Moreno had at least 6 prior arrests since 2005, including weapons charges. In 2016, authorities also placed Moreno under an emergency detention order.
She does have a mental health history that is documented.
Police say a dispute with her ex-husband's family, some of whom are Jewish, may also be related to the shooting. Witnesses say Moreno was wearing a trench coat and backpack when she walked inside the church. Her 7-year-old son next to her when she and 2 off-duty officers began exchanging gunfire. Moreno was killed, the 7-year-old boy critically injured. The off-duty officers credited with saving countless lives.
They held their ground in the face of rifle fire at point-blank range.
Inside the nearby sanctuary, hundreds of frantic churchgoers tried to escape. Paula Laverty says her boyfriend told her to ditch her high heels so they could run faster.
You never think it's going to happen to you or your family until it happens to you or your family. It could have been a lot worse.
And we're also learning more about the shooter's potential past and hearing from some of her neighbors, one of whom didn't go on camera but did say they filed a restraining order against Moreno as recently as this past fall, saying that past months have been described as chaotic with her presence in the neighborhood. Houston police say because of the attack here at Lakewood Church, they are making sure that places of worship across the entire metro area have much more visible security for the near future. Joe.
All right, Morgan, thank you. More to come on this hour of Morning News Now, including how some new inflation numbers out this morning could affect you.
First, though, after the break, more drama involving the royal family as Netflix teases its new movie about Prince Andrew. We've got more on that up next. Welcome back. Well, The Crown may have finished, but there is more royal drama coming soon to Netflix. The streaming trailer just dropped for the first trailer, for the new film Scoop. It's about a notorious interview Prince Andrew gave the BBC in 2019, where he faced tough questions about his links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. NBC News foreign correspondent Josh Letterman has the story.
Thursday, 2 p.m., the Palace. 2 chairs in the middle of the floor, 6 feet apart.
It's the story behind the story that brought Prince Andrew's life and royalty crashing down.
Your Royal Highness.
Netflix releasing its first preview of the new film Scoop about Andrew's infamous 2019 interview with the BBC, focused on his friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Just for the record, you've been on his private plane.
Yes.
You've been to stay on his private island.
Yes.
You've stayed at his home in Palm Beach.
Yes.
Prince Andrew had hoped that interview was his chance to set the record straight about allegations he had sex with a teenager trafficked by Epstein. Instead, it was a public relations disaster, widely described in the UK as a car crash.
He didn't express an iota of sympathy for these young girls.
That was a disaster.
For me, it just showed that he's very arrogant.
Prince Andrew panned for his answers about his 4-day visit to Epstein's private island in 2010, after Epstein had pleaded guilty to soliciting minors for prostitution.
You were staying at the house of a convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to stay.
Netflix saying the film goes behind the scenes of the historic interview. The BBC's Emily Maitlis, played by Gillian Anderson. For Andrew, life after that interview was never the same. Just a few days later, he stepped back from royal duties, and his mother, the late Queen Elizabeth, soon stripped many of his titles. He later settled a lawsuit filed by Virginia Giuffre, who alleged Epstein ordered her to have sex with Andrew when she was just 17. Prince Andrew denies that.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady.
He knows the truth, and I know the truth.
After the settlement, the British royal said he would make a, quote, substantial donation to Giuffre's victim rights charity. Prince Andrew's office didn't respond to NBC News when asked about the new Netflix film, depicting that breathtaking television moment that changed royal history.
Our thanks to Josh Letterman for that report on Scoop. That film, it premieres April 5th on Netflix.
All right, let's get some international headlines, starting with chaos during anti-Western protests in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
NBC News foreign correspondent Claudio Lavanga joins us from Rome. Hey, Claudio, good morning.
Savannah Joe, good morning. That's right. Hundreds of people have been demonstrating for days now in front of several Western embassies in Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And today, the police tried to disperse the crowds using tear gas. Now, the demonstrators accuse Western governments of failing to use their influence over neighboring Rwanda to curb a rebellion in the east of the country. Dozens of policemen were deployed to guard the embassies of the United States, UK, France and Belgium, the country's former colonial power. Protesters set alight tires around the city center, while others burned US and Belgian flags. Let's now go to Gothenburg in Sweden, where a huge fire broke out at an amusement park. According to local officials, 1 man is reported missing and 12 others sustained minor injuries. A spokesperson at the Liseberg Oceana water park said the blaze started at one of the water rides outside the building that were under construction. Police and fire officials could not immediately say what caused the fire. And let's end this tour of the world in the UK, where archaeologists made an astonishing discovery. They scanned a 1700-year-old chicken egg and found there is still liquid inside, thought to be, of course, a mix of yolk and albumin. I wonder what the expiry date is on that one. Now, the egg is one of 4 that were found back in 2008 in a Roman pit during a dig in Buckinghamshire. But it's the only one that remained intact. Now, Edward Biddulph, the archaeologist who oversaw the excavation, said he personally took the egg to the Natural History Museum in London, traveling on the subway and on foot in the hope it wouldn't break. Now, that's what I call walking on eggshells, guys. Back to you.
No
That's
pressure.
amazing.
Yeah,
I don't even get how that's possible.
I would have 100% dropped the egg,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm glad he did it
On the
okay.
subway. Like, he was just, wow, one of the
Thank you,
people.
Claudio.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Coming up, it's a post-pandemic party that's transforming the city of New Orleans.
Locals say Mardi Gras is finally back and better than ever. Plus, it all means big bucks for an economy that was slammed by COVID. We're going to explain as Fat Tuesday celebrations kick off next. Welcome back. It might just be another Tuesday for most of the country, but in New Orleans, Mardi Gras celebrations are underway. That, of course, means costumes, parades, and one of the nation's biggest parties of the year. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock is down in the Big Easy, taking in all the excitement and wearing all the beads. Sam, good morning.
Yeah, and believe it or not, this is not even all of the beads. I got a good chunk of them on, though, Joe. Good morning. So we're at the Rex Parade right now. This is the oldest parading organization associated with Mardi Gras. There are 29 floats in this parade, and I am standing right here, rare access next to the King's float. So, of course, the Rex Parade is the king of carnival. He's going to sit right here. I just met him. He's a man named John Eastman, wearing LSU Tigers prints up and down of bodysuits. Looking forward to that. He will be seated right here in a matter of hours. You've got all these floats parading first down Claiborne, then St. Charles Avenue, as we are preparing right now in New Orleans for one of the most epic Mardi Gras celebrations in decades. This morning, New Orleans' message is loud and clear. Mardi Gras is back and better than ever.
There's nothing like being in New Orleans, and there's nothing like being going to enjoy Mardi Gras.
A whirlwind month of carnival season celebrations leading up to today's Fat Tuesday festivities, with hundreds of thousands of people expected to fill the streets of New Orleans, a triumphant return to post-pandemic crowds.
It does feel like it's back, and people are having so much fun.
Locals celebrating time-honored traditions.
We cook, we have gumbo, we have jambalaya, we have pastelaya, and everybody shares. And everybody looks out for everybody.
Alongside tourists experiencing their first Mardi Gras.
I'm 84 years old. It's my very first ever Mardi Gras. I like that music and I like that energy, so I'm excited.
It's all expected to boost the New Orleans economy by $900 million, a staggering 300% growth for the Mardi Gras season since 2009.
We know that the hotels were virtually sold out this past weekend. We're hearing from our restaurants that they've been absolutely packed. We know at one point the French Quarter had to close to vehicle traffic because there were so many people.
On Monday night, parades like the Crew of Orpheus kicking off with Harry Connick Jr. on hand, a procession of colorful floats, music, and of course, lots of beads. Neil Patrick Harris serving as this year's celebrity monarch, a role once held by former New Orleans resident, our own Hoda Kotb. As big as this year's Mardi Gras promises to be, the city is gearing up for an even busier 2025 when it's set to host the Super Bowl just weeks before Mardi Gras.
We like to say that New Orleans is built to host. We know how to do Mardi Gras. It's also what we believe makes us a great city for the Super Bowl.
A city trumpeting its culture and sense of community like only the Big Easy can.
It's kind of like the one time in the year where everybody, no matter where they're from, what part of New Orleans, they're all coming together having a great time.
There are so many people, Joe, floating around who are just wondering, what is Mardi Gras like in Louisiana? I'm talking to people at the airport, at the rental car station. They're describing folks that are literally just parachuting in to see this for the first time. Man, are they in for a treat. I will say this, it's probably going to be about a 4 or 5 hour long parade. Starts at 10:30 local, so really in a couple of hours. And it goes right through the heartbeats of New Orleans, St. Charles Avenue. You look around and all it is families, majestic mansions, oak trees, and people having a very, very good time. Plenty of beads, no doubt. Let me send it back to you.
Looks absolutely beautiful. Sam, enjoy. Thanks so much for that.
Impressive number of beats there, Sam. All right, artificial intelligence is taking the dating world to a whole new frontier. The technology is being used in dating apps to help streamline your search for love.
The beads were a good segue to this story.
Yeah.
All right, but do users feel it's doing more harm than good for their love life? Cosmopolitan is taking a deep dive into the AI world and dating in its new spring issue.
And we have Madeline Reeves with us. She's Cosmopolitan's deputy editor. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Quite a talker here. So tell us, how is AI intersecting with the way that we date?
Oh my goodness, where to begin? We have been following this topic for quite some time. We've actually been researching this story in depth over the past 6 months because there's been a lot of reporting about how AI is affecting existing dating apps, about how all of these new dating apps are popping up around specific features like helping you optimize your profile or edit your photos or figure out how to respond to your matches. So we really wanted to know, A, are people interested in this? Do they want to bring it into their dating lives? What are their attitudes towards it? And B, what is the actual personal service around how they can use it to bring their most authentic selves into their dating lives to solve for some of these things like dating burnout, app fatigue that we hear from readers all the time. So we actually commissioned a study in partnership with Bumble of 5,000 Gen Z and millennial single daters about their attitudes towards bringing artificial intelligence into their dating lives. And honestly, I was quite shocked and pleasantly so by the results, which is that overwhelmingly people are excited about the impact that this can have on their dating lives. I think it comes down to it's hard out there and people again are having that fatigue. They're like, anything that can help them learn to flirt a little better, learn to optimize things a little better, make those little tweaks, they're very open to.
In this survey, did the Gen Z millennial singles have any concerns about using AI?
Definitely. So some of the top concerns that they outlined were things like, do we lose an element of authenticity with this? If you're talking to somebody and they're being coached by a bot, are you losing out on that genuine connection and relationship? So, throughout this story, we kind of outline ways, we did a lot of research with experts, with apps like Bumble, to say, how can you take the things that you can do with these apps with AI and actually tweak it ever so slightly so that instead of sounding like a robot, you sound like just a slightly better version of yourself. How can you use it as a coach? How can you ask follow-up questions to a chatbot, for example, around, I'm going on a first date, what are some questions that I can ask to deepen emotional intelligence, things like that.
For someone at home who hears you say that somebody who's dating is being coached by a bot, or let's say they're being helped to flirt by one of these services, how does that work? What does that mean? Explain it for somebody who is not familiar with AI.
Absolutely. So it can mean a few different things, whether it is kind of within an app where a bot that's been trained on various techniques and research will kind of spit back out answers at you in response, or something like ChatGPT that a lot of people have played around with. You can ask it questions around things like flirting. I think that flirting is one of those things that we never really learn how to do. You just kind of expect people to be good at it. And Cosmopolitan has obviously been in the game of teaching people how to flirt for a long time. So this is another way to take it to the next level.
That's a good way to look at it. Remind everyone that some of us need a little coaching. And, you know, wherever you can get it, you can. All right, Madeline Reeves, thank you so much. Appreciate having you on for this fascinating conversation.
Yeah, thank you so
Happy
much.
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
All right, now to a decades-long Valentine's tradition that holds a special place in the hearts of people across Maine. Every Valentine's Day morning, the city of Portland wakes up to find red hearts posted by the Valentine's Day Bandit all across town.
How cute is that? Well, no one knew the Bandit's true identity until he passed away last year. NBC's Jack Mulmud spoke with his daughter about how their family is working to make sure his legacy lives on this Valentine's Day.
In Maine's largest city, Valentine's Day goes big every year.
Especially in Portland, I think Valentine's Day means something different to people here because of Bandit.
For just about 50 years working in the dark, every Valentine's morning to Mainers, the gift of light. Red hearts, small, large, awe-inspiring.
My father was the Valentine's Bandit, Kevin Farman.
This is Sierra Farman. Her father, Kevin, was that bandit. He died suddenly in April. His identity as the Bandit revealed by friends and family. This year is the first Valentine's Day without him.
The fact that he was doing this all these years spoke to his values as a person and my dad, and so I feel like I really learned a lot from him because of it.
We've been following the Valentine Bandit's journey for more than 30 years. This is 1993, 1994, and the early 2000s. This is what Kevin would show Sierra the mornings after he painted the town red.
Like, he would take me into town to see the hearts on Valentine's morning, and so I got a sense of the community aspect of it and that it was like a bigger thing than just our household.
Kevin's heart was also gifted to places often hard to reach. This is one of the only existing photos of the Bandit in action, taken just a couple years ago, climbing a ladder inside the steeple of the First Parish Church, dropping his phone in the process.
My mom would say that she never really had a proper Valentine's Day with him because he was always tired and sore from the night before. So she felt robbed. I think in some of her earlier interviews, she called herself a Valentine's widow.
Sierra and her mom, amid their grief, choose to pick up his work.
I think he would be really, I'll use the word disappointed, if we were just sitting around and not trying to make something good out of his passing.
And that's why a bandit, or bandits, may hit Portland again this year, with an added touch of technology, allowing you at home to download Kevin's heart and post it in your community.
I don't think the Bandit could have really manifested and become such a symbol of a town beyond Portland. I think it's very sacred to hear.
Donned with the motto, be a Kevin, whether that's to your city, your business, or your family.
I'm sure it'll continue. I have faith that it'll continue.
Our thanks to NBC's Jack Mulmud for that report. To download Kevin's work and continue his mission, you can go to beakevin.com.
What a cute URL. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, coming up, we are watching your wallet this morning.
After the break, some brand new numbers on inflation here in America. Wall Street is expecting another bump in prices over the past month. So what does that mean for your money? We're digging into the data next on Morning News Now.
We are back with some breaking economic data.
Inflation came in up 0.3% for the month of January, 3.1% year over year. Here to walk us through these numbers and, of course, let you know what they mean for you, we've got NBC Business and Data correspondent Brian Chung and NBC's senior business correspondent Christine Romans. Good morning to both of you.
So, Brian, first of all, walk us through the inflation numbers and how they compare with the previous month and just what we've seen over the past year.
Yeah, well, 3.1%, but what does that mean in context to numbers that we've seen in the past? So that 3.1% figure, by the way, that's a yearly figure. So the change in prices overall between January of this year and January of last year. And that is a little bit of a slowdown from the 3.4% pace we had seen in the December to December period. But you have to remember, economists have predictions on what they could see this number being. They expected this number to be 2.9%. So from that perspective, prices didn't slow down as much as economists had thought. One reason is perhaps shelter inflation, the cost of just putting a roof over your head on a monthly basis, that increased by 0.4%. We did also see food prices increase by 0.4% during the month. And then we also saw energy prices decline. So that did help a little bit because of the price of gasoline going down by about 3 cents per gallon. So that decreasing by almost 1 percentage point between the month. But again, overall, this report a little bit hotter than economists had expected.
Christine, what stands out to you here, and what's it say about our economy?
You know, it's a little frustrating because you want these inflation numbers to come down. The Fed would like to see 2%. We're still at 3.1%. Yeah. So this is cooling inflation. That's good, but it's still hotter than I think the Fed, policymakers, and frankly, all of us who go shopping would like to see. One way to look at this also is that prices are cooling, inflation is cooling, but prices remain still elevated. When you go back 4 years, you got prices, consumer prices are up like 20% from where they were 4 years ago. So I think when people go and buy stuff, you know that you're still paying more. So we tell you inflation is cooling. This is certainly cooling from the December level, but at the same time, it's still been 4 years of higher prices. And that's frustrating. I would say frustrating. Yeah. And we have more months. It's going to be a bumpy ride to get inflation back down to 2%.
So, Brian, you already gave us a little bit of a category breakdown there. I mean, what are just the things that are really still driving what we're seeing? Are there areas where we're seeing just, much lower inflation?
Yeah, well, I mean, let me translate some of these percentage changes just into the prices that you see at the store. And this underscores some of the frustration that Christine was just talking about that Americans are still feeling, right? Okay, yeah, we're talking about rates of change, but the number that I see on those price tags are going up. Let's take a look at eggs. This is comparing to January of last year, $2.51. It's about the same right now, $2.52. So not quite as bad as the egg apocalypse that we saw. Remember when eggs were like $5 a dozen? Gasoline prices did decline a little bit, as I mentioned, so $3.35 for all types averaged out. We did see milk prices decline a little bit. It used to be over $4, now just a smidge under that at $3.96. And then bread, that has been increasing over time, $2.02, now about $2.03. So, when you look at the overall picture, actually the prices aren't all that different than they were a year ago. But again, they're not declining substantially. And I think that maybe explains some of the psyche as Americans are looking at these numbers and going, you know what? It's not cheaper than it was. And if my wages aren't keeping up, that's going to be a problem for my overall household finances.
Christine, a moment ago, you mentioned not only is it not what we want to see, it's not what the Fed wants to see. What do we think when it comes to rates?
I mean, I think you're not going to see rate cuts anytime soon here, because you still have elevated inflation. Probably in the summer, we'll start talking about when the Fed can start cutting interest rates again. I do think what's important about the inflation story is just the build-on effect of higher prices month after month after month. And I think you can see that frustration in some of the polling. Consumer sentiment has been improving a little bit. Also, there's a lot of talk now about companies have been passing on higher labor and higher ingredients costs. And when will it be peak inflation saturation for consumers? A lot of the fast food companies noticed last week that their foot traffic was down because people want cheap stuff. They don't want to pay higher prices. So they can't keep raising prices indefinitely because I think the consumer has hit peak frustration with higher prices.
Brian, quickly here, people are worried about their bills. They're worried about their loans. What does this all mean for that?
Yeah, well, again, this is a reminder that because we're still talking about a positive number in terms of the inflationary figures, that prices are going to continue to go up. And policymakers just hope, to Christine's point, that they can get that pace to come down. But the goal is not to get prices to go down overall, which means that from a budgeting standpoint, people are still going to be spending a lot of money. We have to remember credit card borrowing rates are high. Managing debt is going to be a big part of that household finances story in the months to come.
All right. Brian, Christine, thank you both. Appreciate it.
Yes, we do. All right, more money news for you now. You might have to wait a little longer. We were talking about this last hour. If you're looking to order some takeout on Valentine's Day.
CNBC's Savannah Henao has that and other financial headlines. Savannah, good morning.
Joe, Savannah, good morning to you. All right, let's get you those headlines. Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash drivers will strike across the country tomorrow, seeking fair pay. The strike comes about a week after Lyft said it would pay the difference if drivers made less than 70% of what riders pay after fees each week. The drivers, who are considered independent contractors, have accused the companies of taking a high percentage as commissions. The Justice for App Workers Coalition, which represents about 130,000 drivers and delivery workers, says they won't provide rides to and from airports between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. in 10 major cities, including Chicago, Miami, Newark, Orlando, and Tampa. You no longer have to go to an Apple store if you forget the passcode to your Vision Pro. Apple has launched a software update that will let users reset their device and start over with a fresh install from home. Previously, you would have had to visit a store or mail your device into AppleCare customer support. This is the first update since the Vision Pro went on sale earlier this month. And roughly 123 million people watched the Chiefs beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl on Sunday. CBS releasing preliminary Nielsen ratings for viewing on TV and streaming platforms. CBS, Nickelodeon, and Paramount Plus. It's the most watched Super Bowl ever and up from the record 115 million viewers last year when the Chiefs beat the Eagles. CBS says the final Nielsen numbers will be out later today, guys.
All right, there you go. A lot of people tuned in.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Silvana, thank you. Coming up, you've got to fight for your right to party.
Yeah, we just can't duplicate it, can we? As Kansas City prepares for one supersized victory parade, many Swifties are speculating, will she join boyfriend Travis Kelce at tomorrow's festivities? We've got the lowdown next.
Welcome back. Here's some cool casting from the new season of The White Lotus. I love this show. Blackpink singer Lisa will be making her acting debut in season 3 of the Emmy-winning show. The K-pop star joins a cast including Parker Posey, Jason Isaacs, and Leslie Bibb. Details on Lisa's character are under wraps, but we know it will be filmed in her home country of Thailand. Her Blackpink bandmate Jennie Kim actually appeared on HBO's series The Idol with The Weeknd last year, and K-pop fans are excited to see how singers are extending their careers into the acting industry. Joe, are you a fan of this show?
Yeah, I love White Lotus, of course. Yeah, so it'll be intriguing to see what they come up with season 3 and no Jennifer Coolidge.
I know.
All right. Finally this morning, Kansas City is preparing for a party as the Chiefs return home following their historic win Sunday. Of course, the big question now, will Taylor Swift join her boyfriend Travis Kelce for the parade? NBC's Jesse Kirsch is doing some investigative reporting in Kansas City to try and figure out what's going on. Jesse, good morning.
Joe, good morning. We are pressing our sources for answers, and we are going to just keep trying to get some information around that. But what I can tell you is already happening here is we've got championship banners up in Kansas City. Schools have canceled classes for tomorrow. All of this ahead of the massive parade. Officials are expecting close to 1 million people to be here. And as you mentioned, the question is, will Taylor Swift be one of them?
With a hero's welcome at the airport, the Super Bowl champs are back in Kansas City. The Chiefs' victory lap leading to a Disneyland parade Monday after becoming the first team to win back-to-back Super Bowls in almost 20 years. And Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes is already talking about going for a three-peat.
We'll celebrate these next few weeks, and then we'll get right back at it.
And Chiefs fans are celebrating him after the star QB took control at the end of the game. New video emerging of Mahomes' leadership during that final play in overtime.
Church right bunch, F, shuttle, Tom and Jerry right yellow.
Right side touchdown! Kansas City!
The team overcome with emotion.
I want to take the credit, but honestly, it was everybody. I knew it was going to turn around by the way the guys worked.
And millions watched that work pay off. The game setting a massive ratings record, according to CBS, with 123.4 million viewers, the most watched broadcast since the moon landing. Of course, some of that could have been the Taylor Swift effect. The pop superstar was in the stands and on the field to support her boyfriend, Travis Kelce. Later, the duo hitting the Las Vegas Strip with her family in tow. Overnight, the singer posting a hilarious TikTok about her parents joining the fun. Swifties noting it's her first official social media post featuring Kelce, and swooning over more videos of the two celebrating after the game, kissing as Love Story played. And a memorable moment, Travis leading a sing-along of You Belong With Me. Now the question is, will fans see the power couple together tomorrow in Kansas City? The Super Bowl champs are already preparing to parade through the streets and rally with fans. Last year, Mama Kelsey joined Travis at the Super Bowl celebration. But with this year's parade falling on Valentine's Day, many fans wondering if Travis will be bringing a date.
And if Titler is at the parade, she won't be able to stay for long because she has an Eras Tour show Friday night in Melbourne, Australia, which is 17 hours ahead of Kansas City, so she won't have much time to rest. However, I got to tell you, Joe, if we don't see Trailer together here in KC, it's going to feel like there's a bit of a blank space at the parade. Back to you.
Potentially,
Jesse Kirsch on the beat and really on it.
She's got to be jet lagged right now. My goodness. All right.
All over the world. Well, and then the next question, by the way, in Swiftyland is, does Travis join her in Australia? We shall see.
He's got time on his hands. All right. That's
Thank
going to
you.
do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
The news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.